Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing well. Today we are here for, once again, another review of Ssj5 Figure. Technically in this case, knockoffs. But if you are not familiar, these are from Kong Studios. You can find these type of products on 5K Toys and AliExpress. They don't get sold on Omni or anything, or Toy Arena for that matter. So it's kind of interesting, but usually 5K Toys and AliExpress. Now, I have had the Rose for a while now since its first release, and I just got the Xeno Goku as well as the Evil Ssj5 Goku recently. I missed out on the first version of this because if you're coming out of Christmas time, New Year's time, the chances of you potentially having money is kind of low, right? If you just spent money on gifts, or you went on a trip, or you did something that was extravagant. So that was me. I wasn't able to get it on his first run, so I was really happy to see that they were going to do it again. And yeah, I grabbed them. And I grabbed this Super Saiyan 6, I guess you could say, because I was really curious how it looked in person. In some other photos, it looked a little bit different, but here, I mean, it does look cool. I'm going to keep it, potentially, just to see how it looks on maybe some other figures, but you know, I'm leaning more towards giving it back, you know, selling it or something, but we'll see. So this isn't going to be like your standard review with articulation, all that stuff, mostly because the articulation on these figures from Kong Studios is, and I'm being dead honest here, not good. And the reason why I say that is because, for example, you know, these are, I believe, Gogeta legs from the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta from TBS Broly. Now, while they've recreated the legs here, and I'm just going to take the head off and stuff to be safe, so give me one sec. While they have recreated these legs, they are really not all that in terms of articulation. So, you know, the feet, ankle swivel is just, it's okay. It's not the best. You know, you can't really go all that far down with them, unfortunately. It's just very limited. So getting figures to balance with that kind of mobility there is just not the best. And I mean, the legs with that butt, this butt flap is a problem, okay, for a lot of figures, in my opinion. We don't need this butt flap all the time. But yeah, I mean, he really just doesn't have the best range. And I mean, take into account like the weights. Just look at how big this hair is. Take into account the weight of this hair alone, and it overpowers the entire figure. So that is why, you know, seeing Kong Studios want to do a Super Saiyan 5 AF Goku is really interesting, because they're also making it a 3.0, which means that it should hopefully be able to balance itself a lot better and not necessarily need to be stuck in these kind of vanilla poses, right, where you can't do anything super extravagant unless you have a stand. And needing a stand for great posing is not always fun in my eyes, you know, because sometimes you want to do some really cool, unique poses without it needing to, you know, sit in a stand. But these figures just are not built for that. They're more of a aesthetic piece to your collection, and you just kind of keep them posed there. But if you're willing to, you can definitely make the sacrifice to get some fodder pieces, paint them however you please to match your, you know, color scheme you want them at, and swap the legs out, as well as maybe fixing some stuff in here in terms of the joints, because you'll probably have to either drill in here a little bit, or you'll have to make sure that the width of this peg, assuming you're changing the legs, is going to be different. So that there is that to consider. But overall, I mean, as a figure for all three of these, they look really cool. And I definitely am glad to have at least the Rose and this Xeno Goku, as they do just kind of pop off, right? So one thing I do want to talk about, and I'll go pick up the Evil Ssj5, because a while ago, it's probably like more a week, maybe a week or two ago, that I did see a picture floating around on one of Kong's sites of somebody who had kind of done a little bit of kit bashing So they changed some things about the Evil Ssj5 to, I guess, make it more accurate to the fan material it's from. So basically, what that entails is changing the sash. Now, if you want, oops. Also, I noticed that the hair on this particular release is a little bit easier to just kind of pop out. Those two, I've never had that issue where it just pops out like that, but for reference, you can pop it out however you please. You can pop it out like that, and then you can take this back piece off. You can also do that, and you can have it sit there, and that's technically, you know, a shorter, I guess, Ssj6 form. But you can do that if you so please, but I'm gonna put it back on in a second. So anyways, what I was trying to say is some people have been, I guess, making it more accurate to the material it's from, which is Evil Ssj5 does not have the Xeno skirt. It does have a red sash like this though. Now, keep in mind, you'll have to either find some fodder pieces, take a piece from your Goku Black, or either Goku Black, Piccolo, or Gohan to put this on. And this is from the Dragon Stars superhero Gohan. So luckily it did fit. Obviously it's gonna look a little weird in places because it's not technically meant for this body, but you know, it's good enough for me because I don't really want the cape or skirt on. It just doesn't aesthetically please me. And I don't like how limiting that is to him as articulation. And I really like how it looks just with this color scheme. So yes, again, it's gonna look weird in the back, but it's the nature of the legs that they chose to use for this. If they would have gone with something, I don't know, different, maybe it would be a little bit better, but these are like Kong 1.0 variants, I guess you could say. The Super Saiyan 3s that they're doing that are 3.0s is really going to set them apart from a lot of other customizers, I feel, in terms of being able to produce that many figures for people at a cheaper price. You can still go to individual customizers and do that kind of stuff. It just, those things might run you a little bit more higher if you're looking for the individual attention to detail and quality. Whereas things like this definitely will run into more of quality control errors. I can say that some people have had issues with like hand pegs breaking, tails broken, or issues with hair, but that's the risk you take with third parties. I know some people say it's like unacceptable, but you're not buying an official product at the end of the day. You need to keep that in mind. So if you do happen to get into an issue like that, if it's something that definitely is their fault and you can tell that it's not necessarily something easily fixable, yeah, take it to them, try to get a replacement. But in most cases, if it's like blemishes, like let's say this part was unpainted or something, there's not a whole lot I think that you really are going to get out of it. You know, it just happens. And I'm not trying to dismiss it, but it just happens. And I don't think people necessarily get that yes, it's a third party, but it doesn't mean it's going to be perfect either. They're going to have the same screw ups and problems that an official company would, but at a higher rate. I can say that for sure. All right, but let me put this on and we can see how the whole getup looks together. Get in there. There we go. So he's got a little bit more freedom in his waist area, which might allow me to do some other cool stuff with him, posing wise at least. But yeah, I mean, the aesthetic looks really good here. But I'm gonna put you back there for the time being. Stay there, please. He does come with, for this one, or for that actually, yeah, for this one right here. He comes with this like orange red Kamehameha, or just blast, I guess. And, you know, your standard hands. These are kind of all 3.0 hands technically, but obviously Kong Studios likes to do original sculpts with their products sometimes, so while it can fit on actual, you know, new bodies, it looks maybe a little bit weird on these because of the pegs. So like you can kind of see that there's a lot of space there. All right, and then I forgot to take these out, but this is what I also was gonna originally do. Was gonna use this on that and to kind of give it a ripped look, and just color this red or black, I guess, maybe gray, I don't know, one of those colors. That's what I was originally gonna do until I found out about that fitting on there for the superhero go on body. But yeah, he comes with those 3 faces, the same faces that all 3 of them get essentially. But yeah, to kind of start signing it off a little bit, and I just realized the blue sash for that Goku's fallen off. But to conclude, while these are very cool figures to have, I don't know if the average person necessarily needs to get into them right now. Personally, I would wait for the Ssj5 AF ones to come out. Those ones are going to be like really, really good. And I'm more confident that they'll hold up better just because of how well they're doing setting up the Super Saiyan 3 Vegito and Goku that they're doing. And if you've seen pictures of them, you'll agree they definitely look like they're going to be super articulated, way more articulated than they've been able to do with stuff like this. That's for sure. So this is Ssj5 AF Goku is definitely going to benefit from that. And yeah, we're really not that far away from seeing Kong Studios put that up and start shipping those. Probably about a good 2 months away, not that long. Yeah, if you're interested in those, you know, follow 5K Toys on Instagram, because Lord, people, you got to stay in the news for this stuff. I'm trying to tell you, if you miss out, you miss out most of the time. This is like a limited item, I guess, special item. Not all that crazy to worry about, in my opinion, but people are spending upwards of $150 on it. It's not $250 quality. It's not worth it, you know? You're paying for the hair. And this is part of the review, I guess, because, you know, people, I think, overvalue these, and people need to realize that, yes, while Kong Studios did a good job with the hair and the faces, the bodies are nothing to be impressed with. So at that point, you know, I don't think you should be flocking to throw your money that fast over these, especially. I'd get it if it was like, what is it? Super Saiyan 5 Broly, new articulation, and I don't know, some crazy accessory piece that they throw in for the first time on any Broly. And it's $200. Maybe if you value it and it looks like a really straight up official product, like that kind of quality, maybe at that point. But I would not be paying aftermarket prices for third-party figures. That's my thing. It's not worth it. If you're not willing to pay $150+ for an official product on the aftermarket, there's no reason why I feel like you should necessarily be that interested in paying that much for a third-party item, which has potential possibility to break more on you or not be as good as an official product. So that's my final thoughts. With that, I'm gonna leave it there and let you guys kind of hold the discourse, but I will catch you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed this kind of mini discussion / review, and yeah, peace.